Red hot meets ice cold here at the Ice Arena on beautiful Ghanaland as ice hockey, the Premier League competition, makes its return to South Australia after a 3-week, COVID-induced lockdown. Eric Balnar joined by Jeremy Friedrich, who's actually the most well-dressed I've ever seen him today for a broadcast. Special occasion today, Jeremy, or what?
It is. I think it's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to the Falcons coming out and giving the Tigers something to work hard for, because I think they're looking forward to the next couple of games in the season with the Red Wings and ourselves and their schedule. So, like you said earlier before the broadcast, it could very well be a trap game where they get caught looking ahead and the Falcons capitalize.
Look, the playoff race is done and dusted in terms of who's going to be in the playoffs. We know that it's going to be the Jokers, and then the Red Wings and the Tigers are lurking right behind. The Blackhawks, Falcons, they've fallen off the face of the earth at the moment in terms of the standings. In fact, the Falcons, they've lost 9 in a row. The Tigers have won 6 in a row, and they have 7 games to go. If the Tigers win their remaining games, they get to go on top of your Jokers and finish first place and get that crucial bye in the standings. You use that word trap game, and that's interesting to me because the Tigers have coming up Red Wings and Jokers as their next 2 games. Is that a real thing? Can you get caught playing hockey looking ahead when you're in a locker room?
You can. You'd hope it doesn't happen because of the experience these guys have and because of the experience of the coaching staff and things like that. But absolutely, we're always thinking about the finals and everything going ahead. So sometimes you just need to settle down and make sure that you do the right things in this game.
Well, it's been a while since we've had the action here. Let's recap both of these teams' seasons so far. We'll start with the Tigers. They have played 13 games. They've won 9, lost 3, and tied 1. They started off 3-3-1 to start the season. They've won their last 6 games in a row and have kind of steamrolled teams while doing it. Look at the top of that leaderboard. Ryan Full, 18 goals, 10 assists, 28 points is a career high. Joey McDougall's matched his point total from the previous season in less games. Breakout year for him with 14 goals and 10 assists, and that's their team 4. Glenn Forbes-White in net, allowing just over 2 goals a game, has been a big difference maker, especially in their last 6 games. That is how the Tigers are lining up into this game. Meanwhile, the Falcons, they lost their first game of the year in overtime, but their record, they've actually played 15 games, 1 win in regulation, 1 overtime loss, and 13 losses. They've lost 9 in a row, and there have been some ugly score lines, I'm sorry to say, along the way. But some nice little positives on the season. Josh Holland has got 6 goals and 6 assists on the season, and he's actually been a pretty good contributor stepping into that top role. There's a look at their goals for and goals against, and honestly, their goals against could probably be a little worse if it weren't for Matusz Trinka, which I'm sure we have a lot to talk to today. And Jeremy, sometimes we can simplify things in hockey, and it might just be who's hot and who's not. We'll start with the Tigers. Man on screen over there is Ryan Full, 18 goals this year. Can you believe that's his career high and a pretty esteemed Premier League career so far?
Yeah, I really don't believe that so far, because I've seen him put so many goals in the net throughout his career, and if anything, I think the addition that they've had throughout the off-season with guys like Kubec has just managed to give him that extra bit of play around him, and it's helped giving him those extra goals.
That's Jan Kubec next to him on the screen. He was a transfer from these Falcons last year. He's got 17 assists and just the 1 goal, but like you said, a lot of it is Kubec setting him up a lot of the time.
Yeah, he's made a huge difference. The guy's got 1 goal on the season, but it still sits 10th in the standings for points. It's a ridiculous player to watch, and he does so well out there with just the vision.
One guy the Tigers will have to be mindful of is Andrew Zaltarov. You saw him just on screen a moment ago, just firing a shot on net. He's not a guy that gets a lot of pucks in the net. He's not a point producer. That's not his role in this team. He's the captain. He plays physical. He's been in fights before. What does Zolly bring to the team?
He brings so much experience and leadership from the back, and you need that when you're rebuilding and when you've got a lot of young guys and the team's just trying to piece something together. You need that experience. This guy's played overseas. He's played in the state. He's played in the country at some of the highest levels. So he just brings so much wealth and knowledge of the game to this team, and he makes a huge difference out there.
A look at one of the young guns who's back in the lineup after missing some time to some injury. That's Connor Smith. A young, from all reports, a nice young talent coming up the ranks.
He is. He's easily the Falcons' biggest prospect coming up so far, other than maybe Matusz Trinka, who, they've both made a name for themselves in the state already at such a young age, and they're always going to be good fun to watch.
And there's his dad, Corey Smith, who's the player coach of the team, and then Corey's dad is Rusty Smith. And Rusty is running the bench today for the Falcons. So in this game, we have 3 generations of Smith. Rusty Smith on the bench, Corey Smith playing the game, and then Corey's son, Connor, playing. That's pretty cool, 3 generations.
It is. And with the way sports always play out, you'd almost think that the Falcons are a shoo-in to win tonight, because it's always the storylines like that make a difference somehow.
So we said at the top of the broadcast, Tigers red hot. They need to win out to realistically finish in first place, because they do play the Red Wings twice more. They do play the Jokers twice more. To get to that stage where they can have those meaningful games, they have to win games like this. We'll just be honest. The Tigers should win this hockey game, but you play the games for a reason, because anything can happen. And the last time the Tigers played, they almost lost to the Blackhawks. Then they needed a last-second miracle goal to win. So this is by no means a write-off, even though the Tigers probably should win.
It really isn't, and it's going to come down to the way the Tigers come into the game, what mentality they bring, whether they're focusing on the future in the next couple games, or whether they're giving the respect to the Falcons that the Falcons deserve. You saw it in A-grade a couple of weeks back, where the Tigers were playing the Falcons as well in A-grade, and same situation where the Tigers were a dominant force and they'd done so well for so many games, and they struggled to get anything going because they just weren't playing their system and their style of hockey.
What do the Falcons do well that when they're on will cause problems to a team like the Tigers?
They're very solid defensively in their structure. They're a very passive side in terms of they'll hit you, but they don't chase the puck. You know, you've got experience with guys like Chester and Zolly that know exactly where to be, and they know where to stand, and they know that they're not the most skillful team. They know they can't control the game with holding the puck the whole time, so they're going to capitalize on your mistakes and try and hit you on the counter.
There's a look at Joseph Rezik having a conversation with Jan Kubek, probably in check. Both of those players right there played for the Falcons last season, dominated the point totals, and helped the Falcons get to back-to-back championships. They lost in both of those games. Both of those losses have proved huge for the Falcons this season. We'll have to overcome that. Let's take a look now at the goaltending matchup. Glenn Forbes-White on your left. He's had a really nice run, especially these last 6 games, and been a big difference in his own personal play. But Matus Trinka, those numbers are actually quite good for what he's faced this year. He's probably the key to this game, isn't he?
He is.
So Matus Trinka playing in net. He is the key of this one. With that 5.52 goals against average, it could be worse. We're underway on NITV. And the Ice Arena Facebook page, it is Wednesday night hockey. Back after a bit of a hiatus. The Tigers in white, the Falcons in blue, and the Falcons have the puck in the attacking zone right away. Almost a turnover. It was whipped in front, and Shiansky was trying to get a stick on it. He just couldn't quite bank that one home. Now it's a turnover in the front. Zoltarov fires a shot, scores! Seconds into this one, the captain, Zoltarov. We did him dirty at the top of the broadcast. We said he wasn't a point scorer, but look at this. The Falcons are up 1-0.
It's a great interception. You know, like you see the ice right there on your screen. There is not a single Tigers player in the center of the ice. They were all caught on the outside trying to make a nice fancy saucer pass across the zone to get out. That's a really good read from a defenseman. Caught Forbes-White in a really awkward position as well. That's probably not one that he will love to have, but you have to look at the D on that one. And you know, they're making the mistakes that we said they might have to avoid making if they want to win tonight.
The Falcons were being outscored 36-1 in their last 4 games and on a 9-game losing streak. The Tigers, meanwhile, on a 6-game losing streak, find themselves down within the first minute of this game. This one's pushed forward. Cinco has the puck taken away from McDougall. It looks like he's a man on the mission. Drops it down low to Tyler Boyle. Boyle plays this off behind the net, and it goes into the pads of Matus Trinka. But how about that? Zoltarov with the early mark.
It was a great start, and I want to bring it back to the goalies that we were talking about before, because you're watching arguably 2 of the best in the state and 2 of the best in the country when they're on their game. So, you know, in a position like this where you know that the other goalie's just as good, if not better than you need to make sure that you're on top of your game, because now, like, there's a very good chance that Matus Trinka goes lights out, and the Falcons have a real good chance of winning tonight's game if they keep doing the right things.
Gebert whips it across the ice. It's picked up by Brandon Taylor into the corner. Matus Trinka bats this one aside, and it's scooped up and cleared out of play as they try to push this one forward. I think that was Lean getting the call up from A-grade, so a couple new faces in the lineup. I think that's Josh Lean's first game up in Premier League. I could be incorrect, but he's played it pretty well on the A-grade side this year.
He has, and again, for a struggling side, and you've seen on your screen again, Real good read there from Zoltarov to get that first goal. I think one of the most interesting things with the Tigers is they're red hot and they've played so well, and they're an amazing team to watch play. But you very, very rarely see them handle themselves when they're down. It's very few times that I've seen them down and let alone come back from the deficit. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they overcome this little early challenge that they're faced.
Ryan Full bursts up the ice, goes on his right wing. He has Zoltarov throw his body at him, and Full throws it in front of the net. Brandon Taylor was on his knees, and it goes off his back, and Zoltarov's a pretty good skater. I think that's an underrated part of his game, and he burns by Zach Boyle, gets behind the net, throws it in front, and Glenn Forbes-White has to stick this aside. Quinton Tomlinson keeps it in, banks it off the boards, down low for Lean. Playing it off around to Zoltarov. Zoltarov playing up at the moment, pinching forward. Getting this back out to the point, and Ryan Full throws it towards the center of the ice, and it's Brandon Taylor there. He tries to chip it forward, but Damon Hode is there for the Falcons. Finally whipped in on goal by Ryan Full. The captain, Andrew Stapleton, gets crunched by Zoltarov. He's on a mission tonight, the big fella. Hit laid down on the right side as Cinco tries to get in there. It's scooped up by Tyler Boyle. Pushes it forward to Joey McDougall. McDougall out wide, drops it forward as a nice little pass. And Andrew Stapleton had that clunk off his stick and into the corner. McNair tries to hold the line. He needs a second effort, but Quinton Tomlinson cuts towards the center of the ice, cuts around McDougall, enters the zone and fires it off the back of Tyler Boyle, and Ben Gebert is there in support. This chipped up forward once again, but not out, and now it's a turnover here. Smith walks in, fires a shot, rebound in front, Smith! Oh, and Glenn Forbes-White had to make a huge save, or the Tigers were staring down the barrel of a 2-0 deficit.
That's a very important save from Forbes-White, and it's really, really interesting to see how the Tigers are handling this. Like, the Falcons have obviously got a real big jump in their step in terms of the confidence that they've got from being up against the hottest team in the league right now. But the Tigers have just crumbled, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see who steps up and who puts them back in their place, because someone on that team needs to start talking. And Glenn Foll is a perfect example of someone who can do that. You know, longest serving captain in IHF history. So I think he's definitely going to need to start letting the team know.
Draw one by the Falcons, and Chester gets a shot on goal. Now he's tied up by Jai Sarchich. Sarchich has mixed it up with the Falcons this year a couple times, including having a big fight, and we're going to get our first penalty of the game. And I think by body language, it's Jared Chester getting the gate.
Yeah, it looks like, so he's broken his stick on that play, and once you break your stick, you have to drop it. So whether they call it dangerous use of your equipment because of the broken stick, I'm not sure what the official terminology is. I just know that you have to drop the stick, otherwise you get a penalty for it. So whether they've given him delay of game or something like that. But yeah, no, that's going to be a huge power play for the Tigers here as well, because it's still early in the game, and you know, it's only going to start ramping up the pressure on them the longer they go without being able to tie it up.
Chipped out back to the center line, and Zach Boyle grabs it over to Ben Gebert, a high-scoring point duo on defense on the ice right now. Up front is Kubik, Full, and Brandon Taylor, who has that puck bounce off his stick, and he throws it back to Zach Boyle. On the season, on the Agile Group power play, the Tigers are 9 for 39 and a 23% mark. That's the third best in the league. They've only got one power play goal during this 6-game win streak. That's a little bit surprising, and I think they're going to go to a 2-man advantage here. Delayed penalty coming. Ryan Full has space, fires. That gets tipped wide. Kept in by Zach Boyle. Grinded away is Jan Kubik. Kubik looking for someone in front. He finds Taylor, fires a shot, and a big save from Matus Trinka. Keeps it a 1-goal game. What a nice save there, but yeah, it's going to be a 5-on-3 advantage.
It will, and you know, with the runtime, I almost think the Tigers should have given up that possession a little bit earlier. Now they find themselves in a position where that clock's still running, so that 5-on-3 is going to be a little bit shorter. Great save from Trinka to track that, but yeah, no, this is a really good chance for the Tigers to get back in the game and not let that pressure ramp up too much. 2-man
advantage. Zach Boyle down low to Joey McDougall. All their big guns are out there on the ice right now. They can sense they need a goal. Gebert at the point, left side, Boyle, Gebert, fires, goes wide. Joey McDougall picks it up off the backboard. McDougall to Full. the leading goal scorer in the competition. As the pucks skip on him a little bit, he'll walk in and fire and score! Make it number 19 for Ryan Full. It's an Agile Grill power play goal, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, very nice goal. I think a little bit too passive on the penalty kill there from the Falcons. Yeah, like Tomlinson on your screen there is just completely stepped aside from Fall. You'd want to see that little bit more pressure. They just didn't talk it all out there. But, you know, now the Falcons know that they can score. And the Tigers have got a bit of frustration. I wouldn't write them off just yet. They look a lot more confident. A couple of pretty bad penalties that have gone their way that now they have to come and deal with. But, no, look, it's still very much an open game.
When you, and Mateusz Trinka bobbles the puck. He tries to clear the zone. It's kept in by Glenn Full, and it's picked up by Shiansky. I was about to say that when you're the underdog in a game, you can't give teams free opportunities, and that's exactly what the Falcons have done early in this one. 1-1 game. Tigers just leveled it. Here comes Zach Boyle, one of the hottest players in the competition at the moment. Boyle dancing around everybody. He goes back to his own point. Boyle chips it over to Joey McDougall. McDougall to Zach Boyle. Winds, fires, shots, rebound in front, and it's kept in by Glenn Full. Joey McDougall on the long side, throws it in front of the net. Stapleton tries to get a stick on it. Tyler Boyle causing havoc in front of the net, and Damon Hode banks it off the boards and into the neutral zone. One of the questions going into this game is Mateusz Trinka. He's one of the best goalies in the state, but is nursing an injury. Hode chips this out to the neutral zone, and the second penalty comes to an end. So the Tigers do get one goal on the 5-on-3 advantage, but can't convert on their second chance. Geber slows the pace down, and he'll let his teammates make a line change. Jan Kubek, same thing. Now the Tigers just playing with it right now, keeping possession of the puck until they throw one up the middle of the ice. And the Falcons will be able to bank this in behind the goal, and Ben Gebert will reset once again.
See, that was the turnover that caused Zoltarov's goal early in the first period. So I think it's interesting to see Kubek go for that again. As an experienced player, you'd probably notice that he picks up on those mistakes and doesn't make them again. But it's been intercepted twice in a row now.
How much of a feeling out period would it be for the Tigers? This is their first game in about 3.5 weeks due to the COVID restrictions in South Australia.
And that kind of explains a slower start too. The Falcons played against us on Saturday, so they've obviously gotten back into it a little bit. Tough loss. I think it was 9-0 in the end, and Trinka obviously playing injured, but I think that still gives him an advantage in terms of match sharpness.
Trinka had to kick out a leg and make a save on Greg McNair's shot from the point. Ryan Full, the goal scorer, back to McNair. McNair fans on the shot, and it's a giveaway to Jared Chester, and the Falcons may be able to break out. Pass just goes a weird bounce off the boards for Rob Richards, and it is going to be spun into the zone where they're going on the attack, but finally the Tigers pick it up once again. Banked off the boards. Here's Andrew Stapleton, and Jack Cinco holds on to the puck, and it goes back behind the goal for Jared Chester. Chester, long pass ahead to Henry Keane. Keane out wide, chips it forward. Morris O'Hanley there to intercept. He'll bank it around the boards, and it's Zach Boyle. Stretch pass ahead, glove down by Connor Smith, and he banks it off the boards. O'Hanley holds his own and pushes it back into the attacking zone. Zoltarov there first. He's just going to bank it off the boards. Henry Keane there for support. Some of the more experienced players out there right now. Glove down by Joey McDougall. He's got space. Winds, fires, goes off a body. Zach Boyle keeps this one in. Back in the corner for Joey McDougall. Connor Smith is there, and the Tigers have to clear the zone. They had a man offside. Connor Smith tries to take it out himself, but Joey McDougall intercepts, and he's created a 2-on-1. Stapleton fires a shot on net. I think he was trying to lead McDougall on, and it was just Trinka that got the pad down.
Good save from Trinka there. A little bit of miscommunication from Smith and Zoltarov, both defensemen trying to pinch up on that play. And good job from Lean positioning himself in the middle there to take away that pass. Again, you're seeing the Tigers use that momentum that they got from those two power plays to just control the game. Probably the worst thing that could have happened to the Falcons when they had so much momentum and a frustrated Tigers side against them, whereas now they look a lot more comfortable with the game.
Glenn Full scored his last game versus the Falcons in a rifle shot from the point. You can find that one on the highlights somewhere up on the Ice Arena Facebook page. Find all the highlights up on the Ice Arena Hockey Facebook page. Make sure you check that one out for all your up-to-date content. Even some panel shows in the work. Played over to the right side. McNair cuts around Lean. Shiansky banks this back towards the center, and it's Ryan Full who gathers the puck. Stretch pass ahead. Kubik swivels, turns, stops, pops, releases. Full in tight around the corner, centering play in front. Oh, and Taylor couldn't get his hands on it quick enough. So Trinka had an easy save at the end of the day, as this one might be icing. It is. Good opportunity once again.
See, you'll notice that first poke check from Trinka, that actually makes a huge difference in getting Full comfortable across around the net, because that took away the time and it made him do that extra little move. If he hadn't committed to that poke check, I reckon Full could have gotten a simple pass across to Taylor. So that was a very good play from Trinka and a very good recovery save as well.
Trinka just 16 years old, nursing an injury right now. It's a leg injury. How's he looking a little ginger? Or?
Look, you can't tell with him. He's Euro, so he plays on anything, and he makes it look like he's just bleeding pain.
McDougall keeps it in. Nice play at the blue line, and he walks into the slot and fires a shot on goal, and there's Trinka gloving it down, knocking it forward, diving on top of it. Trinka peppered with shots early on.
At this point, he's probably playing better with the injury than he was before it, but he'll love to hear that.
McDougall trying to use Damon Hode as the screen, but Trinka saw it all the way. McDougall tying the man up at the face-off circle. It's Shiansky taking up the puck. He goes left side, walks into the zone, working on the backhand, works his way down deep. Ben Gebert ties him up, but they get a puck out towards Tomlinson. He can't hold his own, and now it's a foot race for it. And here comes Joey McDougall working against Chester. McDougall dragged down, and he's going to draw a penalty for that one. Stapleton throws it towards the ice, but Jared Chester, I think, getting his second penalty of the game, and he just took Joey McDougall down as he was trying to power towards the front of the net, I think.
Yeah, it's not an ideal penalty, but by the same token, McDougall's one of the best players in the league, and he was straight in on Trinka, so it's definitely not the worst penalty you can take. I think that was definitely a hockey penalty in itself, and he's obviously not happy with himself, but I think Trinka will be, because that's saving him a breakaway against him.
Well, the Tigers scored on their first Agile Group power play of the game. They're 1 for 2 in the period, 1 for 2 in the game. Obviously, it's a 1-1 game. So Chester into the box for the second time tonight. Gebert to Boyle, whips one in on goal. Taylor gets this to Kubik. Kubik centering play in front, scores! What a pass from Jan Kubik, and Brandon Taylor finishes it off. It's 2-1 Tigers.
Yeah, 2 power play goals as well. I think that'll really be a storyline tonight, because the Falcons are on even strength right now with beating the Tigers. So they definitely won't be happy with that one. But again, it looks like a lot of flat-footed penalty killing, and that's not going to help Trinka out at all. It is interesting, though, looking at the Tigers' power play lineup. Most teams will go with 4 forwards. Even Jokers have hit the traditional 5 forwards sometimes. The Tigers are rolling with 2D because they've got the benefit of using 2 of the best D in the league, with Benny Gebert and Zach Boyle being first and third in points for defensemen in the league. I think that's a really strong unit they've got for them there.
Boyle dishes it off to McNair. Stretch pass ahead. He was looking for Ryan Full. Jan Kubik adds another assist to his name. He's now in 13 games played, got a goal and 18 assists. He's now tied with Jordan Geyer, who's played 2 more games, for 9th in scoring, and he's only got 1 goal.
That's a stat that you're not going to find anywhere else. I think it just speaks to the amount of team-first mentality that Kubek has got, and he's brought that over. You know, he played with Joey Rezek last year, and it was the same thing. Joey racked up so many goals because they just found each other, and Kubek has such a high hockey IQ that it's so easy for him to make those plays for us.
Cinco gives away the puck, and it was Ryan Full. He's looking to become the first player to 20 goals. Jake Riley in the last game on Saturday equaled his total with 18, but Ryan Full went one better today to reclaim that scoring lead in the competition. Good, healthy battle right now between the 2 of them.
Yeah, and they definitely pretend like they don't check it, but we all know that it's fresh in their minds. But by that same token, some guys play better when they know that there's that challenge and that competition.
And here comes the leading goal scorer now. Full in all alone. Trinka with the glove save. And he plays it off. Most goalies you'd think would leave it off for the whistle, but good save from Trinka.
It was. I think Rezek was in his ear letting him know that he has to play it because all the Tigers players had backed off. You risk a delay of game penalty, which Trinka probably won't want to add to his penalty totals. I think he's already sitting on 12 for the season, so he definitely doesn't want to get those racking up, otherwise he'll get a bit of a goon title going to his name.
Turnover in front of the net. Stapleton fires a sharp angle shot. Trinka has it bounce off his body and into the corner. Shanski gloves this one down. He's looking for Cinco, who's going ahead. He's got Tomlinson with him as well. He's just going to wrap around the back of the goal. Drops this off to Chester. Chester holds the line, throws it in front of the net, but Joey McDougall is the one there. He tried to chip it forward, couldn't quite get enough wood on that one. And it's going to be Chester, right side. He had Tomlinson working down low. Tomlinson throws it over towards the left point. Jared Chester picks up the puck, gloved down by Glenn Forbes-White, and in behind the goal. Bouncing puck. O'Hanley turns it over at the point. Zoltara banks it off the boards. Quinton Tomlinson. Now some offensive possession here for the Falcons. Much needed for this team. And I think they're going to the power play as Tomlinson turns and fires. Falcons try to center this one. Finally, a Tiger will touch it up. But I think it might be Morris O'Hanley going to the penalty box as we take a quick look at this breakaway save.
That's a great shot from Fall, but Trinka was so far out because he knew he was challenging a shooter. I think you're well aware of the players that you come up against, especially when you verse them so often. You know Ryan Fall's a shoot-first kind of guy. He very rarely pulls a move on you, so you need to be aggressive, and you can't give him any inch of the net because he will hit it and he'll make you look bad. So very well played by Trinka there.
Well, late in the period, the Falcons go to the agile group power play for 2 minutes or less. It's Morris O'Hanley. I think it was a cross-check or a check in the back. Didn't see the final call, but I saw what the play was. It just gets up to the ref's discretion. So let's see what the Falcons can do. Can they level the score? They scored 30 seconds into it, and it's the man that has the puck right now, Andrew Zoltarov, that inflicted the damage. Gebert plays it off to Kubik, and shorthanded. The Tigers might be on here. They are. Boyle spinning, can't quite get his stick on it, and it's Quinton Tomlinson who plays it left side for Corey Smith. Zoltarov tries to chip this forward. It goes back, and Connor Smith will grab it, and he's already directing traffic and giving some marching orders with 35 seconds to go in the period. Zoltarov, the captain, will be the one to carry it up the ice. He works wide. Tries a centering play. He was looking for Josh Hall and their leading goal scorer, and it goes all the way back to Trinka. And time's starting to run out. Trinka looking for a play. He almost gives this away to Ryan Fole. Smith, right side. Back to the Tiger defense. McNair will throw this back on net. That will be good for the save percentage for Mateusz Trinka.
He'll love that one after the Saturday game. But no, look, it's interesting to see as well how the Tigers lined up on that penalty kill. They had Fole, they had, who was the other one on the forward line? They had
Stapleton?
Yeah, they had Stapleton, Fole.
McDougall and Gebert.
Gebert, Boyle.
Boyle, yeah.
Yeah, so they had their best players out on the penalty kill as well, which is a good effective system when you know that the team that you're facing doesn't have a very strong power play, that they're struggling to set things up. But you'll look at them in the third period and you'll expect them to be a little bit gassed if they just keep getting played.
Well, the teams will catch their breath, and so will we. We'll see you in the second period. The Tigers lead the Falcons 2-1. It's Adelaide Ice Hockey on NITV. Well, back at the Adelaide Ice Arena, and they've been saying for a while change is coming, and change has really started to come. They put in a lot of work around this rink, and how good is it to be back in the rink after a few weeks layoff due to COVID. Must feel pretty good, Jeremy Friedrich.
It's great, and it's almost like a second chance to revisit the big changes because, you know, like it was great the first time I walked in after they'd made all these new changes. But, you know, after having a break for that little while, I came back and I was like, wow, this really looks different and it looks so much better.
It is the Tigers and the Falcons back at the ice arena on beautiful Ghana land. The second period about to get underway. The Tigers on a 6-game winning streak, the Falcons on a 2-game losing streak. Tigers need to win out if they want to finish top in their remaining 7 games, and it really is doable. They have been playing some very good hockey as late, but it was Andrew Zaltara for the Falcons that scored 30 seconds into this game. But as that first period went on, the Tigers scored 2 power play goals at the hands of Ryan Full and Brandon Taylor, and it's 2-1 right now. Falcons on the Agile Group power play, but those seconds are starting to tick off, so the Falcons maybe have one more opportunity to set themselves up in the zone. Here's Shiansky, works in behind the goal. Greg McNair takes him away from the puck, and another penalty call?
It looks like McNair's going for hooking with that one, so it's a really good chance here for the Falcons to come out and retry and get something set up. I think at this point they just need to regroup and keep it simple, lots of shots, because realistically they're not going to get much zone time tonight, and I think they know that as well as the Tigers, so they have to make the most of the opportunities that they get on the power play.
Well, as one power play comes to an end, another one begins. McNair in the box for 2 minutes or less. Tomlinson, Shiansky, Cinco, Smith, and Zaltara, the goal scorer, are on the ice. And Connor Smith's got some speed, he's got some moves, but he fires that one wide. Shiansky along the boards, drops it off for Zaltara. Sharp angle shot, and this is going to carry him all the way around the boards and back in behind or near behind the goal for Henry Shiansky to gather and bank it off for Connor Smith. Connor Smith, one of 3 generations of Smiths that are involved in this game. Rusty Smith running the bench. Connor playing, he's the grandson. Rusty the grandfather, and the son of Rusty, Corey Smith. He was on the ice not long ago. He's playing in the game. Ryan Full, he'll pick up the puck for the short-handed Tigers. He's got 3 blue jerseys all around him. And finally, the Falcons take the puck. Stretch pass clunks off Cinco's stick. Gebert to Boyle. Boyle, long pass ahead. That's clever for Jan Kubic, who picks it up behind the goal. Kubic walks around. Kubic gets pushed towards the outside, drops it off for Benny Gebert. He's got behind the defense, and getting down was Matusz Trinka, who deflects that one out of play.
Good tracking from him there. I think that's a little bit sloppy defensively from the Falcons. I think just because it's a power play doesn't give you the right to be too sloppy defensively. Everyone was just puck watching, and very good tracking from Trinka, who just took away the whole net there from Gebert.
And with that whistle, more seconds will peel off the clock. So the Tigers bank this one towards the net, and the Falcons will send this down. It's knocked down by Corey Smith, but Glenn Full plays it back in behind the goal. Not much time for the Falcons to set up. Special teams, the difference in this game so far. The Tigers 2 for 3 on their power play attempts, and the Falcons looking like they're on their way to being 0 for 2. And they trail on the scoreboard. Glenn Full takes the puck away, sends it back down, and that will do it for the Agile Group power play. The teams will go back to full strength as Greg McNair steps back on the ice. Smith enters the zone for the Falcons, and he's taken away by Andrew Stapleton. Stapleton's got a breakaway. In all alone, Stapleton fires. Stapleton can't convert as Trinka got the stick down. Stapleton's struggling on those breakaways this year.
Yeah, I think he's got to try something different, and this is where all the players, they have things that they stick to and their go-to moves, but when it doesn't work, it's always nice to, you know, if you're a shooter, try a dangle, and if you're a dangler, try shoot it, because goalies don't necessarily expect it when we're so used to playing the same guys so often. O'Hanley
pinching in, fires a shot across the goal. It's picked up by Joey McDougall. Nice pass from McDougall. Gebert fans on the shot, and that's chipped out. McDougall has to scurry back with support from Tyler Boyle, 2 forwards, trying to cover 2 pinching defensemen. Boyle to Gebert. It's a foot race forward. It's Lean versus McDougall, and Lean's got to be careful. McDougall takes the puck away. McDougall walks in, fires a shot. Trinka with the save. Joey McDougall has had an incredible season statistically, and he almost added to it there. But the Falcons will get an opportunity going the other direction, but Keene couldn't get the pass forward to Tomlinson. Kubik gloves this one down, and it's going to be an offside call 5 minutes into the second.
Good save from Trinker again there, and I think he's really going to be a storyline player because 5-on-5, the Falcons are up 1-0 right now against the Tigers. You know, you talk about the difference special teams have made, and right now, if it wasn't for that, it would be very likely a 1-0 game for the Falcons. So, you know, credit to Trinker. I'm not loving the way the Falcons just keep throwing the puck away, whether that's a strategy or a bit of panic. I think when you're down in a game, there's no reason that you should be trying anything like that.
Cinco took the puck away from Zach Boyle, and Glenn Forbes-White, who I feel like hasn't been tested in a while, makes a nice save.
No, and that's almost harder as well. You know, Trinker will love being the center of attention the whole time because he's facing so many shots. It's really hard to stay in there and stay focused when you're so cold and you're really not doing much.
Tomlinson wins the draw, but it's a Tiger there first. They're hemmed against the board. Jan Kubic picks it up, backhanded pass. Ryan Full trying to stretch to that. Damon Hode will get there first. Almost gives it away off the boards, but instead it's Kyle Cinco. Kicks it to himself. Kubic cuts him off. McNair gathers. Banked off the board, Shiansky. He'll play this behind the boards. It's no good if no one's there to forecheck, though. Zach Boyle to Ryan Full with space. He's got two forwards with him, but Full likes to shoot, and he does. It was a bouncing puck, and Trinka got the stick on it before the puck is literally roofed, and we'll get a stoppage in play.
Yeah, interesting tactic. They just keep throwing the puck away, and in the defensive zone, I don't think that's the best way to do it. I think you need to get over the red line before you start getting those pucks in deep, because all you're going to do is end up with whistles in your defensive zone, and if it's an icing, it's even worse because you can't change. So whether the Falcons have to try something different or the Tigers will finally start capitalizing.
Tip forward. Here come the Falcons. They've got some space down the right side. Here's Josh Holland. Oh, he tried to dance around Ben Gebert, but he's seen that move before, and he dishes it out to McDougall, to Stapleton, and all alone, McDougall scores! It's showtime! Joey McDougall knocks one home, and the Tigers extend their lead.
That was a very good play, and you see both of them enjoying playing together, you know, like McDougall's coming in over the blue line. He could very easily have just gone in by himself, found Stapleton, and then Stapleton gave it back to him. That's a really hard one to play with as Trinker, and I think the defense let him out to dry a little bit as well. You obviously had Zolly pinching and none of the forwards covering, so it was a 2-on-1, 3-on-1 at that point. It
all started with the turnover, and now Joey McDougall has his 15th goal of the year. That's good for fourth solo on the goal-scoring list. Got 26 assists, so he's fourth in goals, fourth in points. It's a big year for Joey McDougall. Holland throws it in front of the net, goes off a skate, throwing back towards the slot, and the puck somehow slides all the way back to the neutral zone. This game probably now going back according to script.
It's what we expected, but by the same token, you know, we talked about the trap game and the Tigers getting caught thinking about too far ahead in the future, and that very well could have been what happened at the start. That or just the fact they haven't played in 3 weeks. You know, you can't really look into that rusty start too much, but it is interesting to see how they've bounced back.
It wasn't an ideal start for the Tigers. They allowed a goal just 30 seconds into it, but they've taken the game more in their terms since then. Jai Sarcic has this bank off his stick into the corner, centering play. Connor Smith redirects that, but Zach Boyle gathers it on the second chance opportunity. Joey McDougall scored just seconds ago, throws it in front of the net. Zach Boyle pitching down low, sharp angle shot, tries to go high, it just goes wide. Falcons still can't gather control of the puck. Morris O'Hanley pitching down low, and now it's a breakaway for Quinton Tomlinson. Tomlinson stopped by Glenn Forbes-White.
That's a very nice save. Very good play from the Falcons. You know, some good vision to get that breakaway there. But I think Quentin didn't really know what he was doing there. And you know, Glenn Forbes-White, very experienced goalie. All he had to do was wait it out. When you get too close, you take away your own angles. So you need to know what you're going to do. Otherwise, you're screwing yourself over on that breakaway.
Only a couple shots this period for Glenn Forbes-White, but he is being tested on both of those opportunities and playing an important role in keeping it a 3-1 game. Ryan Full down the right wing, and Brandon Taylor a little bit offside. So we've reached the exact midway point of the game. Here's a look at that goal again. It all started with that turnover, though, from Benny Gebert, which you don't see on that replay.
No, you don't. And it's always those guys that, you know, they might not show up on the score sheet, but they're so influential. The experience that Gebert, that Old Man Foal, and that Zach bring to the game is ridiculous.
McNair off the near boards, and Ryan Foal is going to get his way through the defense. Jan Kubic takes the puck away from him. He tries to lob one in front of the net, and the Falcons will not quite clear. McNair keeps it in. Ryan Foal now on the other side of the rink. Centering play to Taylor. He's already got one today. He was looking for two, but BT had his 4th goal of the year earlier today. He's looking for number 5.
That would have been a good one, but I think Trinker's all over it still, and he's very strong mentally, so, you know, these 3 goals really haven't fazed him, and if anything, he should be really happy with the way he's been playing. So he'll keep doing what he's doing, and it's going to keep this game interesting.
Kubic wins the draw. And I think the puck net must be off its bearings a little bit.
Oh, we got a second
No, we got second puck.
Popped out from somewhere. I think Trinker's just been keeping one in the back in case he lets one in. He can just throw it out. Jenny made the save. I think that's one that we all use here or there.
Draw one by the Falcons. Jack Cinco gives it right to McNair, and it's a turnover in front of the net. Brandon Taylor strong in front, full, trying to nag another one, and it just goes wide. Taylor swivels, fires, full, picks it up again. Full from the right side to the center, working his way to the left, and that goes out of play with 8:50 to go in the second period.
Yeah, and this is where, you know, the Falcons, we talked about how they collapsed defensively. Arguably, they've made that mistake a few times and it's led to goals, but it was really good there where they didn't give Foal anything in the middle. They got sticks in the way. That shot was never going to be a clean shot, and it ended up in the netting because of that defensive action.
Stapleton takes the puck off to Joey McDougall, one draw, and now Tigers will get to work setting up their system in the attacking zone. Gebert, long shot for the point, tip from Andrew Stapleton, and Trinka had to be ready for that. McDougall on the one-timer, that high out of play as well. Tigers controlling the play this second period, and they've got 1 goal to show for it.
They are, and I think the Falcons know that that's how the game is going to run. So now they just have to make sure that they capitalize on those counterattacks that they had with Tom Wilson and the turnover from Cinco earlier in the period too.
Another draw one from McDougall, but the shot is blocked. Puck pops free in the middle of the ice. It's picked up. Wagner fires a shot, rebound. And again, another nice test for Glenn Forbes-White. Wagner on the rebound. Tries to push this towards the slot, and it's another breakaway, this time for Tyler Boyle in all alone. Boyle scores! What a goal! Tyler Boyle, maybe the goal of the season, puts it up 4-1.
Look, I think that shows the confidence that kid has. You know, he's moved over from the Blackhawks where, you know, it was his rookie season, a team that was losing a lot. This is ridiculous, and it's just the confidence that he has. He's now got nine against the Falcons this season. I think he's really got Trinker's number, and I think that really shows the confidence that such a young player has playing around some really good players.
Wow. He couldn't stick the landing, but he gave us one hell of a goal. Tyler Boyle in what might be the goal of the year, going between the legs to make it 4-1 in a 2-goal hockey game.
I think the only person who won't appreciate that is Steve Best, who usually has even worse sellies and has finally been outdone for meaningless sellies that end up messing up. But everyone else would be really appreciative of a goal like that because that was a beautiful one.
Tyler Boyle with now 9 goals on the season. He's been a nice secondary contributor. But what a goal.
It really is, and maybe Zach Boyle will have to step up now as well, knowing that his brother can pull stuff like that out of him.
Zach Boyle makes a nice move to get the puck out towards Ryan Foal, and now Zach Boyle's going to the net, and he's calling for the puck. Boyle was right there to try to bank it home, and that one just goes wide. Jan Kubic picks up the puck, and he gets dragged down by Shiansky. He recovers, throws it back, and here's Ryan Foal in all alone. Foal gets pushed down by Smith, no call, picked up by Taylor. Taylor powering it around. He was looking for Foal again. He wasn't up in time. Joey McDougall tries to chip it down low towards Benny Gebert. Gebert centering play. Here comes McDougal, backhanded shot, Trinka down low, he makes 2 saves. It's a firing squad right now, and Trinka is on the receiving end.
Yeah, you see the goal on the screen again, just for everyone to appreciate. I think this one will be on the Facebook page for sure. But that being said, this is now the 4th breakaway we've seen in a row this period, where the Falcons defenseman's pinched and no one's covered him, and the Tigers have been able to exploit that a lot. So I think the Falcons really need to think about how they're going to restructure as going into the break, because you can't let that keep happening.
That was an incredible goal. We got to send that to Sports Center. Get that on Sports Center top 10. McDougal chips it forward. Tigers looking for another goal again. Ben Gebert trying to hold the zone, and he does. It's chipped back down low. McDougal gets it out to Tyler Boyle. He's feeling confident. He tries a backhanded play. That one sails high, but going back on the forecheck is Andrew Stapleton. Joey McDougal intercepts. McDougal turns, swivels, centering play. Tyler Boyle was on the doorstep, couldn't get a stick on it. Falcons will carry this out. They can't clear the zone. Stapleton back behind the goal, and it's back to the forecheck for the Tigers. Gebert pinching in. Puck pops free into the neutral zone. McNair plays it right side. Joey McDougal plays it down low. Damon Hode, the first one there. Long pass ahead. It goes off the stick of Rob Richards, and that goes for icing. I'm still in awe of that goal, Jeremy Friedrich.
Yeah, look, as a goalie, I'm not the biggest fan, but you have to give respect to that, because that was an incredible goal, and it takes a lot of confidence in a player at such a young age who's only been playing in the league for 2 years.
Would Trinka have been expecting that when he was coming down?
You never expect that unless you've got someone who loves to pull things like that, like a Benson with the Kucherov. Like, unless the guy's got a go-to move that you know is coming, you're never expecting something like that.
Glenn Full pinching in. Works on the backhand, shovels it in behind the goal. Jan Kubic. Looks like they're on the power play right now. We assure you they are not. Kubic fires a shot. It's blocked in front, and the Falcons try to clear it. It goes off Henry Keene's face and back down into the corner where Brandon Taylor grinds away. Gets it to Kubic in the slot. Kubic on the backhand, centering play in front. They tried to bang it home. Rebound. A body was down on top of Mateusz Trinka, and a very scrambly Falcons finally clear the zone with a bit of a look of dismay, but they still can't get that line change in on the icing.
No, and that's where they just, every time they're trying to clear the zone, they're doing the same thing. So whether the Tigers have picked up on it or they're just hitting each other's players, it never seems to work. It's just really not their night tonight, and you know, this is where you can appreciate that period break and that ice cut to maybe come out and do something a little bit differently, because there's going to be another icing here again.
Yeah, and that's the rule. You can't change when you ice the puck. So this line, this thing, their third line of Richards, Keene, and Lean, really A-grade call-ups that are stuck on the ice right now with some heavy hitters like Kubic and Foal on the ice. Taylor drops it off to O'Hanley, who drops this off to Taylor, but it's a giveaway, and they could have just carried the puck out, but Kubic was there to intercept an errant pass in the middle of the ice. Still can't get that line change as Taylor drops it off for Full. Full to Taylor off the post, rebound in front, trying to hold on to it. Trinka, I think, is on top of it.
Yeah, I think that bounced around a little bit. Very fortunate that he had Hode there talking to him as well. That was a good save, but again, it's just the pure dominance where the Falcons just get caught puck watching and puck chasing, and the Tigers know what's going on. They can find each other out there really well. So you need to go back to the real basic defensive structures if you're going to get anything done tonight.
That might have gone off the paddle and then post for Mateusz Trinka. He's had to make some pretty good saves today.
He'll always get the respect regardless of the scoreline, because he always finds a way to get a highlight reel in there. At
the start of the third period, the advanced analytics department sitting in the Ice Hockey SA score booth over there will have the shots on goal for you. Joey McDougal tries a nice little move. He tried to drag that puck. That only works on goalies like Jeremy Friedrich. We saw that earlier in the year, but not on a quality keeper like Mateusz Trinka.
Look, I think it's impossible to stop McDougal when he's just that red hot. I think this is probably the best season of his career, not just in the IHSA Premier League, but of all time. I think the guy is really a late bloomer, so it's good to see him get so confident out here as well.
Boyle down low to Stapleton. Plays it back to McDougal. McDougal with some time, with some space. He's in the office right now. McDougal just going to walk over towards the corner, and he'll just play it onto the cycle to Andrew Stapleton, the captain. Stapleton backhanded pass to Jai Sarcic. Tries to chip this back to Zach Boyle, but it was turned over, and the Falcons will try to clear the zone, but more persistence effort from the Tigers as Josh Holland banks it off the boards. It finally goes in the neutral zone. And here's Matty Wagner. He drops this back, but Andrew Stapleton there to intercept. And then a knee was just lurking out there as Stapleton goes down. Only 20 seconds to go. Zoltarov throws this to the neutral zone. Andrew Stapleton there first. Zoltarov will hustle after this with just 10 seconds to go in the period that has been all Tigers. They've scored 2 goals, including a beautiful one from Tyler Boyle. But
Whoa, that is some nasty windmill saves there from Glenn Forbes-White. I think he'll be loving the fact that he's had his 3rd shot on goal for the period. And he's got big smiles here as well. He knows that he's going to go back and watch this one at the end of the period.
Well, he's channeling his inner Sam O'Neill, maybe, the A-grade goalie.
It's, I think it's the one that we've all grown up worshipping, so there's no reason he wouldn't be.
Tigers score 2 in the 2nd period, and they add to their lead. They're looking for 7 straight. Kim Matoush-Trinka keep the Falcons in the game. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. You're watching ice hockey in Adelaide from beautiful Ghana land at the Ice Arena on NITV.
Point. You're back in the top spot for goal scorers in the league. Jake Riley right on your tail. How much is that playing in your mind in these games?
Not a whole lot, to be honest. We're on a bit of a stretch here as a team right now, just putting wins together. And like Joey McDougal said a few weeks back, it doesn't really matter about points here. It's about finishing. We're trying to finish top and win the cup. That's all it's about.
So speaking of finishing top, it's a possible road, but a difficult road. Wins in these games are going to be absolutely critical. Falcons, a bit of a scare with an early goal. What was the game plan coming into this?
Yeah, we started a little sloppy, but we spoke about it in the rooms that we might be a bit slow to start. And tonight it's just focusing on leaving and entering all zones as a unit rather than trying to stretch passes and things like that. That'll come as weeks progress, but we've had a bit of a break, so just keeping it simple.
No worries. Thanks, Ryan. Back to you in the studio. Thanks, buddy.
Eric Ballner with the very well-dressed Jeremy Friedrich once again here in the Ice Hockey Intermission show. 4-1 game, but again, let's just recap that Tyler Boyle goal. I still can't get over what we saw in that game.
No, that was a really good goal, really confident play, and we thought there was going to be something in it when the Falcons scored early. You had a bit of optimism, especially as a Jokers player, but no, I think realistically we all knew what was coming, and if it wasn't for Trinker, it could be a lot worse.
A few things in this chat for you, Jeremy. Let's start off with this. You got the Ice Hockey Australia sweater on, so it's very appropriate. But you were appointed something today. Tell us what that was and what that means.
So Glenn Forbes-White and I, the Tigers goalie, got appointed as the goalie coordinators for ice hockey in South Australia. A really good chance for us to get more involved with the young people coming up, with any goalies in the state. It's also a really good chance for us to get our head into how all that political side of it works and the admin side. So look, I'm really excited. We've got a really bright future in the sport, not just with the Ice Hockey SA committee, but just with Ice Arena and everything like that that's going on in the States. So it's great to be involved and great to be a part of everything.
And what does that mean? Because I think it was was it a symposium over the weekend or?
Yeah, so we had a clinic over the weekend where we had a lot of different guest speakers talk to us about what it goes into becoming a goalie, a professional goalie, what it goes into coaching goalies. So spent a good 10 hours of video just sitting there learning a lot about the position, that things that I've been playing for a good 12 years and I had no idea about. So it's great to learn so much.
So what are some of the takeaways that you can try to apply to ice hockey here in South Australia?
A big one, we talked to Eddie Lack, former NHL goalie.
The Eddie Lack, the Vancouver Canuck goalie.
Yeah. So he came out and we were talking about the kind of drills he uses with young goalies, with pro goalies and things like that. And he said that they do exactly the same thing that they would do with their under 12s in Sweden and all throughout the goalie career is really basic things. So it's really good to know that we're doing the exact same things that they are. It's just about doing it properly and doing it often so that your body just does it naturally.
So Jeremy, we'll move on from that and we'll talk schedule right now, because obviously we had the 3-week layoff due to COVID. That was beyond anyone's control. A lot of people trying to make the schedule happen right now. A bit of uncertainty right now. There's a schedule, there's not a schedule, there is. What's that like as a player dealing with whatever's going on?
I think it's even more frustrating as a coach right now, having to try and piece together lineups and things like that.
For the A-grade team.
For the A-grade team, yeah, and just based on whether Premier or not are playing. So we had lots of plans going ahead, but yeah, it's, we can only do so much, and I think everyone's realistically trying to work towards the same goal of getting us playing and getting us finishing the season in a timely manner and in a way that doesn't put teams in a position where they're playing 3 times in a week or anything like that. So,
because you guys on the Jokers are playing Sunday or not playing Sunday?
We'll find out when it comes to Sunday, whether at 3:45 we're out here or not. But either way, we're ready to go. I think we're playing the Tigers, so we played really well against the Falcons, and I think it'll be a really good chance for us to really earn that top spot again.
Yeah, that game wasn't on live stream. It was the first game back out of the break, but it was a 9-0 win. But you were telling me before the game you thought that was actually one of the better games that the Jokers played in that victory over the Falcons.
It was. It looked a lot more like how we started the season. We were playing real simple but effective hockey. We've got so much skill in our lineup. We're very gifted with the amount of players that we have and the depth. And sometimes we just get ahead of ourselves, and it was really good to see that the boys bounced back and that we clawed back from those couple rough games in the past, and now we're looking a lot better and feeling a lot better.
It's pretty crazy. We're near the end, or we're mid-October or August now, and the season's going to be wrapping up in about 6 weeks. So where's that going to leave players in the off-season? Obviously, there's no AIHL.
No, and I'm really hoping that the AJIHL goes back, which is our only summer competition. Because other than that, we can train and we can do as much as we want, but I think there's nothing else to it.
What if there was a pro league that was based in Australia or in Adelaide that had some of the best players in Australia that competed against each other?
Look, you've got my attention. Look, I think that'd be a really good way for us to prepare for the IIHL as well, if that was the case. I think at this point, I have no idea.
You reckon players would be interested in a format like that? We're talking the best players in the country playing somewhere like this.
That would be an amazing opportunity, I think, for everyone who's been missing it. I think everyone's been dying to get some sort of competitive hockey back, whereas AIHL got cancelled, and now this has been such a great hit with a lot of the local guys. It feels a lot better this season than it has in the past. So yeah, I think that'd be a great way to.
So if you're trying to build a pro team using players from outside the state, who's a couple players you might try to bring in and say, we need you on my pro team?
One of these guys is overseas, so there's not a chance I'm getting him in, but I've had the privilege of playing with Cal Costa, who is my age but is playing professionally in Czech Republic right now, I think that would be the player that you'd have to build around.
Because he's an Aussie guy, right?
He is. And he was going to be on the men's national team last year, but they cancelled the trip. So that would have been a great opportunity to see him earn that spot as well.
That's going to be difficult even for some of the national team players right now that are either on the team or in the mix for some spots, not knowing when that next championship's going to be.
No, it's real tough, and especially with the capped age groups for the younger ones. Like, I missed out on my last year of under 18s. Whether next year goes ahead or not, I might miss my last year of under 20s. It's a tough time, but you also know that there's nothing you can do about it. So, you just got to try and work hard to earn that spot on the men's team.
Well, Jeremy, thanks for the chat. We'll keep chatting during the broadcast in the third period. The Tigers have a 4-1 lead. We'll be back at the Ice Arena after this. Back inside the ice arena on beautiful Ghana land, the Tigers, according to script, up 4-1 over the Falcons, looking for win number 7 in a row. But the big talking point after that second period was this goal from Tyler Boyle, adding his 9th of the year. It started with a turnover and then a big pass down to Boyle all alone. And yeah, if you're a goalie, what would you be expecting him to do?
See, the moment he's pulled it to his backhand, a lot of guys continue with that. They really commit. Or you see a simple pullback. So Trinker did a really good job of not committing to anything, and then all of a sudden it's a shot, which you're not expecting at all. It was a real good lift. He hit the top corner perfectly, so it's not something that he'd do 10 out of 10 times, but that being said, you know, credit to him, because that was a great goal.
I love the look on his face. It's kind of like did I just do that?
He had no expectation. But again, you're trying that in a breakaway on stream, I think that's great. Like, that's confidence in itself.
Ben Gebert getting around it. Yeah, that might be the goal of the season. But there's still a hockey game to go. And in the context of the game, that's actually a huge goal because it made it a 3-goal difference. The Falcons scored first in the first, then 2 power play goals, 1 from Full, 1 from Taylor, and then in the second period it was McDougall and Boyle of the Tyler variety. That made it 4-1. Falcons still in this game if they can get a quick one.
They are, but we need to see something different. It's been 2 periods where they've thrown away pucks. They haven't really played a structured game, and you know, the times they have given teams a challenge, it's because they took the game to them and they didn't let them get set up. I think those power plays early really hurt them, but...
And already a turnover, it's Altarov. Kubik scores! His 2nd of the season. Jan Kubik makes it 5-1 just like that.
Again, another turnover straight up the ice. This is the third time we've seen a goal today from either side where the puck's been tried to move through the middle and it's just a simple intercept. We've got some of the smartest players in the country playing. There's no way you can afford to do anything like that. And I think it's good to see Kubik double his goal tally in tonight's game on the season.
Jan Kubik going from 1 to 2, but he had an assist earlier in the game. We'll get all the stats for you in just a second off the Premier League website. The shots and the total points from your players coming from our chief analytics guy, Jeremy Friedrich. But you blink and the Tigers are up 5-1. They've played 4 times this season. This is their 5th and final time that these 2 teams will meet this year. Tigers have won 8-1 twice and 6-2 twice. Now they're up 5-1 in the 3rd period. Lob pass back to Ben Gebert. Gebert shot through traffic off Shiansky's leg, and Ryan Full plays it around the corner. Brandon Taylor chips it around the boards. Taylor centering play. Full tries to get a stick on it, and Cinco tries to move that one away, and it goes all the way back towards Zach Boyle. Shots on goal after the 2 periods is 28-8 for the Tigers over the Falcons. Real dominating stuff on the scoreboard and on the shot clock. Kubik has a goal and 2 assists. McDougall with a goal and 2 assists. As you see Kubik get his 2nd of the season. But that puts Joey McDougall now at 15 goals and 12 assists. He's up to 27 points in sole possession of 4th place, passing the likes of Steve Best on the scoring list.
And I think that'll be great to see for the Hockey Academy crew as well. Those 2 are always having a good fun, battling out there and teaching new people to play. So it'll be good bragging rights for Joey to finally overtake Steve there too.
He's had a few 3-point games, Joey McDougall. Jan Kubik has as well. Centering in front, Zach Boyle lobs this towards the center of the ice. It goes off Connor Smith's skate. Say that 10 times fast. Josh Holland, left side. Corey Smith tries out at the center of the ice. It's another turnover, and this time to Ben Gebert. Gebert tries to find McDougall. Goes off a skate. Damon Hode chips it around the corner. Stapleton working on the backhand. Battling it down low, Joey McDougall. Now again with Connor Smith tangled up behind the goal. McDougall centering play. Stapleton couldn't pull the trigger. He gets his own rebound. Stapleton centering play. McDougall on the backhand. It's cycle and shoot for the Tigers right now, and finally the Falcons should be able to clear it. Josh Holland, stretch pass ahead again, turned over right at the blue line as the Falcons were trying to enter the zone. McNair has this go between a few legs, and it goes right through, almost all the way through Trinka, and he gives this one away. O'Hanley fires a shot in on goal.
I think he's trying to finally catch Trinker in that point leaders. I think Trinker's sitting on 3 assists and O'Hanley with 1 point on the season. It's always good to see him trying to catch up to the big dogs like Matus and myself. So it's good to see him taking shots tonight.
Joey McDougall dishes this off to Tyler Boyle. Boyle backhanded. Tyler Boyle with a shot. Trinka had fallen over. It is all Tigers. O'Hanley, long shot from the point. Trying to chip one in again. McDougall around the corner, and now Tyler Boyle will skate back and grab this. Haven't been many whistles except for that Kubic goal. The Tigers look well on their way to number 7. Still some time yet, though, but something has to change in a dramatic way. Stapleton throws it in behind the goal. Hode tries to lead a man out, and Josh Lean couldn't quite handle. Kubic to Boyle. Tyler Boyle. On the other end of a check from Connor Smith, and then Henry Keane gets dumped, and his helmet pops off by virtue of Greg McNair. Kubic dangling around one. Kubic fires a shot. Rebound. Kubic looking for the open cage. Kubic drops it off to Glenn Full. Fires a shot. Glenn Full looking for his second goal of the season. He had one earlier in the year. It was against the Falcons. It was Michelle Coonan in net. Kubic stretch pass to the speedy forward Glenn Full. Full working down low. Drops it to Taylor. Taylor short side. That one gets chipped wide. Ryan Full. We haven't had a whistle in now almost 4.5 minutes since that Kubic goal.
No, we haven't, and it's starting to show how the game's just flowing back and forth, which is good hockey to watch.
Ryan Full to Glenn Full. It was son to father, and father went wide. Falcons carry this one out. Shiansky can't quite find someone on the other end of a pass. It's been a bit of a problem all night. Zach Boyle in his own end. Turned over in the neutral zone. Jack Cinco chips it forward, but it goes right back to Zach Boyle, who just pounds one from the center line at Matus Trinka, and that goes out of play.
I think they're just looking for a bunch of highlight reelers now, the Boyle family, but good save from Trinka there, falling down to keep that pad on the ice. That could have been another Tyler Boyle goal. And then here's a no Hanley slap shot that we just missed out on as well. Always good to see him trying to get involved.
Draw one by the Tigers. Stapleton, backhanded pass. McDougall getting to work on the forecheck. Gets tied up by Jack Cinco, who plays it around the boards. Stapleton there to intercept. Regains possession, whips one in front of the net, pops up for McDougall, fires one on net. Jack Cinco is screening his goalie. And here's Jai Sarcic mixing it up in front of the net. We saw how this ended last time.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of exchanging words and smiles between those two. You know, the Tigers are using this guy as an extra forward, but he's...
This is the 5th and final time these teams will play each other this year. Tigers playing game number 14. They have 2 games left against the Jokers, 2 games left against the Red Wings, and 2 games left against the Blackhawks, as Sarcic can't quite get a stick on it. 6 games to go. When you were talking to the Tiger camp, well, all the way back in May, they said, look, we probably need to win our last 13 games if we want to finish first place. They're on their way to winning number 7. That's over halfway there on what would be a remarkable run to the top of the standings. But they might have their biggest challenge yet coming maybe this Sunday versus the Jokers. But that will be an interesting one, Tigers-Jokers. They got you last time, Jeremy, and that will be a crucial battle. Let's just hypothetically speak. Say the Tigers win on the weekend. They will only be 5 points behind you with a game in hand in another game versus you.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge game, but I think we've done what we need to prepare for it. So, you know, they'll obviously fancy themselves. They've been playing some great hockey, but by the same token, I think we can fancy ourselves as well. And I think we've proven that, you know, that 11-game win streak or whatever it was at the start of the season means that they can't take us lightly either.
If the Jokers win that game, it would probably be just the daylight they need and make it virtually impossible for the Tigers to catch them as Glenn Full fires a shot in on net. They would have an 11-point lead with the season series in their pocket with 4 games to go. So the Jokers would pretty much have to lose every game from then on out. So it's a big one coming up on the weekend.
It is, and you know the team we haven't mentioned much yet is the Red Wings as well. Like they're tied on points with the Blackhawks, with the Tigers right now, and if they start winning games against us and the Tigers, they're in for a shoe-in at top spot as well. So it's a real interesting battle at the top right now.
Ryan Full spins off the puck. He dishes this off to Kubik, fires one. Oh, that's a nice save from Matusz Trinka. Falcons trying to clear. They can't. Zach Boyle stays strong on the puck, and Tomlinson will chip this one forward. Falcons still can't clear the zone. Brandon Taylor fires a shot. Rebound in front. Full tried to dangle his way through Trinka in a last gasp effort, and Tomlinson will play it around the boards. Ryan Full plays it down low. Gebert drops it back to the point, and it'll be a foot race for it. Zach Boyle versus Kyle Cinco, and Zach Boyle will get there first. That's Wednesday night's game, though. Red Wings versus Tigers. Both teams, if they win out, can finish first place, but both teams need to win out, and that is impossible for both of them to do that when they play each other. So it's almost like a playoff-type atmosphere next Wednesday night in what will be a great game. No doubt about it. Tigers have done well to set themselves up for a chase to the top of the standings. Here's Joey McDougall again, getting down to make the save was Matusz Trinka.
That was an amazing poke check from Trinka there to take away very high speed from McDougall, and he was pulling that across as well. Here's another great save from Trinka. I really realistically think this could be almost in the double digits by now if it wasn't for him in net. He makes such a huge difference, and he's so good to watch.
Tigers will be pushing 40 shots to this point, and the Falcons have 8. Josh Holland down the right wing, tries to get around Morris O'Hanley. He was a bit too strong on the puck. Chester barrels him over, but Andrew Stapleton there to collect the loose change. Holland to Zoltarov, to Wagner, across to Jared Chester, the veteran, walks in, slaps a shot just a bit wide. Matty Wagner there on the rebound, and his chip forward, and here comes Tyler Boyle once again, and he just shoots this time right at Trinka and then gets hauled down. No fancy stuff from Tyler Boyle that time. I think when you do it once, you can't really do it again, can you?
No, you really can't. And if you do and it doesn't work, you know you're copping it. So I think he tried to keep it simple, and a good save from Trinka. Good rebound control as well. He knew exactly where that went. You'll be able to see here, his head's right on the puck the whole time. That's what makes such a quality goaltender, is he's always aware of where the puck is.
Ice definitely tilted one direction. 9 minutes to go in the game. 4 goals just seems like a little bit too much for the Falcons. Stapleton around the back. Cinco gets taken off the puck from Joey McDougall to the point for Morris O'Hanley. He gets around one, but the puck drifts on him, and it's picked up by Josh Lean. He's got Henry Keane out wide. Lean enters the zone, and it's Glenn Full there to intercept. Keane playing it down low. He's got a man standing at the point to try to get him the puck. Held the line, back to Henry Keane. Keane looking for Richards in front of the net, but Glenn Full took this one away, and he turns it over to Josh Lean, who slaps one in. And Glenn Forbes-White makes a save from distance. Lean holds the zone to Keane. Right side, looking for Lean once again. Stapleton intercepts. McDougall, a nifty backhanded pass to Stapleton. Rest of his team goes for a change. Stapleton trips over himself and tumbles into the corner, and the puck goes the other direction. Boyle, long pass ahead. He had Stapleton going again, but he's in behind the defense, so icing will be waved off. Stapleton drops this off. Damon Hode was there. Connor Smith to the point, kept in from McNair, chips it down low. Ryan Full scores! Goal number 20. Ryan Full pads his lead atop the goal-scoring leaders, and he pads the Tiger lead too at 6-1.
Yeah, it's a good control from him there right in front of the net. He knew exactly how to move that puck. You watch him, he knew that Hode was coming. He pulled the move to get both Trinka and Hode moving, opened up the 5-hole. That was a really good goal, and you know, he's got 20 goals on the season for a reason. He knows what he's doing, and he does it well.
McNair's going to get the assist on that one. A rare Ryan Full goal that Ryan Kubic isn't assisted on.
Yeah, you'd think that the only reason Foles hit 20 this season is because of Kubic, so it's interesting to see Ryan try and do it all himself for once.
6-1, Tigers lead. Ryan Full now with 20 goals. Jake Riley with 18 goals. What can Jake do when they meet on Sunday, these two high-scoring machines. Ryan the Rocket Foal versus
Jake the
Villies Riley?
Yeah, I like that.
McNair kicked away from Trinka, gets his own rebound, left side to Zach Boyle, who's had a good game, but he's been quiet by his standards. In this 6-game win streak, he had 7 goals, 5 assists coming into the game.
He's the top point-scoring defenseman in the league and arguably the best defenseman in the league, and for a reason too. You know, he brings such a dynamic play to his team, and he brings so much offense from the back, which the Tigers had struggled with. They had no depth scoring, and you need guys like him, like Gebbert, to get involved for that to happen.
The final scores between these two teams have only been 8-1 or 6-2. We are on the verge of potentially another 6-2 win.
Or making history, which either way I'm happy with. But yeah, I think we've reached a stage in the game where the Falcons know that they're not going to get anything out of tonight, but that by no means, when they've still got 2 games left against the Blackhawks, there's not a chance to take the foot off the pedal. And if anything, you really want to see them try and get another one here tonight so that they have some confidence going into their next game, because they're going to play 2 huge games at the in what is completely irrelevant for finals, but for both of those teams, huge in terms of the warrant and respect that they get from finishing second to last.
Yeah, Falcons and Blackhawks play on Monday night at the Ice Arena on the current schedule. But right now the Falcons have taken a double minor. So they got a player in the box for 4 minutes, and there's only 5 minutes to go in the game, and now the Tigers can really try to pad their lead. That one a little bit offside. Tigers today on the power play are 2 for 4.
And they're good 50%, and I think they sit 3rd in the league for their power play percentages at this point. Red Wings have had a real good season, which has been very underrated in terms of their power play with 30%. And obviously our joke is on 26, but this 50% will really pad up the Tigers' numbers as well, because they're just behind on 23 going into this game.
Entering this game during the 6-game win streak, only 1 power play goal for the Tigers. Now they did get a couple as power plays had ended, but only 1 power play goal during a 6-game win streak, and usually those things go hand in hand. When your special teams work, you win games.
They do, but sometimes it just comes to the momentum they bring as well. You're not always going to have it show up on the score sheet with that power play, but sometimes all you need is that momentum boost like you saw today, where they were struggling at the start of the game and then they got to settle in because of those penalties.
Boyle has a shot blocked. Puck goes all the way down to the other end, and now Jan Kubic. Kubic with speed and a nice stick play from Connor Smith to knock that away, but Joey McDougall at the point to Zach Boyle, down low, tip shot. Ryan Foal looking for the hat trick, couldn't quite get it. Zach Boyle over at the point to Jan Kubic. Kubic can distribute the puck with the best of them. Kubic, left side, Boyle, chip shot in on net, gets his own rebound. Boyle to Gebbert. Gebbert has that one knocked aside. Boyle back to the point. Here's Boyle firing one in, and it goes around the boards. Jan Kubic gets barreled down from Connor Smith, and it's finally in the neutral zone. And the Falcons have killed off the first half of this 4-minute penalty. Zoltarov scored in the first 30 seconds of this game, and then the Falcons had a couple opportunities. And we thought maybe there'd be an upset on the cards, but the Falcons have just 10 shots on net. The Tigers close to 40. They have 6 goals, 2 from Ryan Foal, 1 from Tyler Boyle, 1 from Jan Kubic, 1 from Joey McDougall, and 1 for Brandon Taylor. It's been a very balanced attack from this Tigers squad.
Yeah, it has, and that was the difference that we talked about early in the season, is that they weren't generating any depth scoring, they weren't generating balance, and it was always the top guys doing the work. We look at the stats that they had coming into this game. Their top 3 goal scorers sit with 2/3 of their goals. It's really important to see these other guys step up, because that's what's going to make a championship team.
Well, they've shown they can win 7 in a row. Can they make it 8? We'll have to test that in their next game versus the Jokers, and then follow it up and consolidate versus the Red Wings. Puck goes all the way down, and it's picked up by Greg McNair. Brandon Taylor got his 4th goal earlier in the game. Chester took a tumble, and McNair walked in. I think there was a player offside. No, Joey McDougall's calling or not Joey McDougall, Joseph Rezek. Easy to get them confused.
Yeah, you got 2 snipers out there, and only one's wearing the stripes and the other one's sitting on the bench. So, that's the difference that you've got out there right now. It looks like a little penalty on Chester, but again, I think at this point in the game, Rezek's just trying to balance it out a little bit. Probably not the hardest penalty, but I don't think either team will be hugely shaken by that either.
I think it'll be an interference call to Andrew Stapleton.
We talk about the scheduling, and I think it's really good how it's worked out this year, regardless of when we end up playing, where us, Tigers and Red Wings each have to play each other twice. Blackhawks and Falcons have 2 games against each other as well. We've got a real good end to the season on the cards here where there's going to be non-stop good action. So I'm really excited to see how the season plays out.
And each team controls their own destiny, meaning that if each of those 3 teams take care of business in the games in front of them, they will finish first place. But by merit of that 10-game win streak to start the season, the Jokers have a 2-game advantage over the Red Wings and the Tigers, and that might be the difference when it comes down to who gets that bye to the championship series.
Well, it's always important to come out, firing and ready for the season. So maybe you're talking about that summer league and the intermission. That might be something else that's on the cards in terms of making sure that teams come out ready to go, whether it's AIHL or O'Hanley gets robbed again by Trinker to keep him ahead on the point leaders. So I like to see that.
Here's Zoltarov with the puck. What do you reckon, Jeremy? A minute to go. You want to try your hand at calling some action for the first time?
Oh, no. Don't do me like that. I think the color commentating is just good enough for me. I get to talk so much about my friends Trinker and Forbes White that there's nothing else I'd be talking about.
Minute to go in the game. Tigers going to move to 10 wins, 3 losses, and that 1 tie. Actually, how costly might that tie be for both the Red Wings and the Tigers in the 3-3 game earlier in the year?
I think that's a huge one, and one that could be a little controversial in terms of the fact that they let it end unsettled. Obviously, that was the way it was structured, so there's nothing they could have done. But yeah, that could be really big in terms of dropping points towards that final picture. Falcons
now on the power play, and Jack Cinco gets a shot through traffic. Glenn Forbes White in stop time holds on to this one, trying to nurse that 1 goal allowed only.
Falcons calling a timeout here. This isn't the worst decision in terms of trying to get something going for the rest of the season. If they can get a second goal on the Tigers, they'll be pretty proud of the efforts they gave. Obviously, it's not a beautiful performance by any means, but they've worked hard, and again, they're not exactly in a position to be competing with the top teams right now. So they're doing what they can, and there's no reason that they should be too upset with themselves.
If the score holds at 6-1, it'll be a 7-game win streak for the Tigers, and they'll have outscored their opponents 36-12 during that stretch. So that's a little over 5 goals a game scored, and just under 2 goals allowed. That's pretty efficient stuff from the Tigers.
It is. They've done such a good job of just peppering teams, and they score goals, and they score them in bunches. Other than the game they scored against us where it was 2-0, even then, if they're not generating the offense, they're playing so solid defensively that you really struggle to break them down, because you're either chasing them during the whole game, or they're doing such a good job of shutting you down that you've got nothing.
And unfortunately for the Falcons, this lose streak is going to tumble over to 10 games. But Zoltarov trying to add one, at least to the points, and Jai Sarcic getting down and blocking a shot, took one off the leg. Tyler Boyle tying a man up in the corner. Connor Smith lobs one in front of the net. Zoltarov pinching in, fakes the shot, banks it off the board. Wagner can't quite hold on to the puck, and Benny Gebert will grab it. Tigers will try to clear and consolidate their win. Laid in behind the goal. Long pass goes through everybody and all the way back, and Matusz Trinka has the puck. Assist opportunity, Jeremy Friedrich.
I reckon a goal opportunity at this point. He'll be trying to get involved somehow, because that he'd love to if he could.
Kubic walks in offside. 2 seconds to go before this game is in the books, but it feels good to have ice hockey back here.
It does. It's great just to be able to be back up here and enjoy the environment and the culture that we've been missing for the last couple of weeks.
So the last formality of the game, draw one by the Falcons, but that will do it. The Tigers with a dominating 6-1 performance, highlighted by an unbelievable goal from Tyler Boyle. Game at the end of the day kind of ended the way we expected.
It did, and if anything, that start was just a little bit of a shock to everyone, but when you come into it with 3 weeks off, I think it's expected as well. So now we've got a real good end of the season on our hands, and it'll be really good to see how everything plays out.
It's 7 in a row for the Tigers as they continue their surge towards the top. Thanks for watching Ice Hockey in Adelaide. I'm Eric Molnar on behalf of Jeremy Friedrich, producer Brandon at Spacequake Sports, everyone at the Ice Arena. Thanks for watching Ice Hockey on NITV. We'll see you next week.